is Prime7 News at 6:30 with Daniel Gibson.
Rubbish like me? Excuse me, did you call me rubbish?
Tonight, the extraordinary clash outside court as the former Archbishop avoids jail. The PM's energy plan passes the party room. Now he needs to win over the states. Two charged with murder over the samurai sword street killing of a rapper. And the reason why an experienced pilot crashed an aircraft into his own home. Good evening. Those stories for you shortly, but first to some breaking news out of London. Several people have been injured after a car crashed into safety barriers outside the Houses of Parliament. Armed police, ambulance and firefighters rushed to the scene of the incident, which happened just after 7:30 a.m. London time. Officers were seen surrounding the vehicle before the man was arrested. Cyclists were hit, but police don't believe any of the victims are in a life-threatening condition, and at this stage it's unclear if the incident was terror-related. But judging by the response, it's clear authorities were taking no chances. Former Archbishop Philip Wilson has avoided prison despite covering up years of crimes by a notorious pedophile priest. There was a fiery exchange outside court when one of his supporters told a victim of child sex abuse, "I haven't got time for rubbish like you."
Sentenced to home detention for concealing child sex crimes, former Archbishop Wilson left court saying nothing. Chris Reason, 7 News.
Malcolm Turnbull has scored a crucial victory, securing support from most coalition colleagues for his plan to bring down electricity prices. But Tony Abbott says questions remain, and he used Mr Turnbull's previous job to mock the Prime Minister.
Malcolm Turnbull heads into the most dangerous party room meeting of his Prime Ministership, emerging 2.5 hours later, claiming victory.
The party room has today overwhelmingly supported the National Energy Guarantee.
Political editor Mark Riley joins us now from Canberra. And Mark, when can customers expect savings on their electricity bills?
Well, not for a while, Daniel. There are a few political minefields to navigate before the National Energy Guarantee becomes law, and even then it won't take effect until 2020, so it'll be a couple of years at least before families see that promised $550 reduction, assuming it materialises. The question then is who will voters blame for that? Daniel?
Thanks, Mark. Mark Riley there in Canberra. Well, a young woman and her boyfriend are behind bars tonight, charged over the samurai sword murder of a hip-hop artist. Rapper Jet McKee was allegedly killed by the couple after he broke into their home, armed with knuckle dusters and a replica gun.
Just 23 years old Hannah Quinn could now be looking at life behind bars. The young barista and her 28-year-old partner, Blake Davis, have been charged with murder after handing themselves into police last night, ending a 3-day manhunt.
Help is continuing by the truckload for struggling farmers across New South Wales. Last night, we brought you the story about the 14-truck haul from Tasmania making its way to drought-stricken families. Today, that convoy passed through Dubbo on its way to the Moree-Inverell region. 100% of the state has been declared drought-affected. Well, hundreds of people have been hurt after a boardwalk collapsed during a concert. We'll have more on that for you next. And the shocking reason why a pilot crashed a plane into his own home. Melbourne has lost its title as the world's most livable city. In fact, Sydney's moved up the rankings, going from 11th to 5th. Melbourne dropped from the #1 spot for the first time in 7 years, pushed down to 2nd by the capital of Austria, Vienna. According to people behind the Most Livable City Index, Sydney's rise was due to it being less of a terrorism threat than last year. An Australian man has had to pay a $10,000 fine in Bali after causing a scooter accident. Perth father Matthew Arai was in Kuta for a wedding when he stuck out his arm to hail a taxi. Well, then a scooter rider hit his arm and was sent flying. Police threatened to charge Mr Arai with attempted murder unless he pay the victim some money. Now to something that's the stuff of nightmares for some of us. Security video shows 2 young girls standing on an escalator before a step collapses and they become trapped. A witness leaps to the rescue, frantically calling for someone to hit the emergency stop button. The girls eventually freed and with just minor injuries. Have a look at that day in finance for you now. The Australian shares have risen today with gains right across the board. The National Australia Bank was up as investors took in their stride a 3% fall in a third quarter cash profit. The Aussie dollar, though, hovering at 72.76 now, US cents. We'll have the latest on Trent Barrett's future at the Sea Eagles for you. Sport's on the way, and he hasn't played for 5 months, but Steve Smith is back on top of the world rankings. Manly players have thrown their support behind their coach Trent Barrett, who's contemplating quitting the club. Barrett frustrated with the lack of resources and facilities at the Sea Eagles.
Manly's demountable office and threadbare football department is crumbling. Trent Barrett's fed up and he's on the verge of leaving the club for good.
Wallaby stage Folau says he won't be changing his aerial approach against the All Blacks ahead of Saturday night's Bledisloe clash at ANZ Stadium. Folau handed a one-match suspension in the June Test series against Ireland.
Yeah, for me, he hasn't changed anything, so I think going into the weekend, I'll have the same mindset around attacking the ball in the air.
That is your night in sport. Weather, would you like some? Sure. Meteorologist Karl Lijnders is along next with a look at that for you. And Trevor has taken tonight's photo. Dawn over Camden Haven on the mid-north coast. Love how we're giving them all a bit of a caption now. It's terrific.
Tonight's weather brought to you by Mazda BT50. Hurry in for added value this August.
Hello there, Karl Lijnders with a look at the national weather picture for Tuesday evening. Windy conditions yet again through southern parts of the nation where the weather is quite active at the moment ahead of a strong cold front. You can see it coming in on the screen there. So severe weather warnings now in force for large areas of southeastern Australia. This front will push through tomorrow. Warm in the north, cooler in the south, but certainly a mild air mass as this front moves through. Now that front will bring the chance of some damaging winds as we just saw to eastern parts of New South Wales, south of about Orange to the Victorian border. Very warm conditions in the northeast, temperatures near 30 degrees both Wednesday, Thursday, including now Friday. Another strong system coming into play for the weekend will send us into winter with a strong and squally southerly winds. Winds run parallel to the isobars and they're coming right up from the south. That means temperatures are going to fall away rapidly through the weekend with low-level snow possible. Another front on Tuesday, just keeping the cooler weather going throughout most of the state. The rainfall is expected to be focused through southern parts of the nation, including southern New South Wales. Some of this will fall of snow around the southern tablelands and the central tablelands on Sunday morning. Damaging winds are in force for, like I said, widespread areas of the state. The peak of the winds between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Those winds will decrease once the sun goes down. There's a quick look at the rainfall, and around the state tomorrow it is windy with temperatures well and truly above the average, north of about Orange with sunshine and areas of raised dust. More weather coming your way again tomorrow. I'll see you then.
That winter chill hasn't gone away. I'll be chopping firewood nearly all weekend. Well, just before we go, we'll recap tonight's top story. Streets surrounding London's Houses of Parliament are in lockdown after a driver slammed into cyclists, then hit the barricades outside the historic building. The driver taken into custody after being dragged from the car by heavily armed police. Officers have confirmed the Counter-Terrorism Command is leading the investigation, but say they are keeping an open mind about the motive. 2 people who were hit are expected to survive. You can always get more news online. That's prime7.com.au, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all there for you. That is your news for this Tuesday, the 14th of August. Thanks so much again for your company. I'm Daniel Gibson. Till I see you again, have a great night. Bye for now.